people should have heard by now, the preeminent and the most important voice in right-wing politics of my generation, Charlie Kirk, was assassinated in cold blood in front of thousands of people my age, in front of his family. They all had to witness this, and the left, predictably, unfortunately, a lot of people on the left have been saying the most despicable things in reaction to what is really an unforgivable act by some deranged person, a shooter that should not even be named at this point. So first, we're going to start with one of the worst things that I've heard in this whole thing.
In which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, to emphasize what you just emphasized, we don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about.
So that guy, Matthew Dowd, that you heard just now, really literally in reaction in lifetime said that it could have been some person in the crowd celebrating Charlie Kirk and that it was just an accident, implying that the Second Amendment people that support Charlie Kirk, which is the majority of them, just fired a gun and then that somehow magically hit him in the neck. Now, anybody who knows anything about guns knows that if you're going to celebrate something with a gun, you're probably going to shoot it up, if anything, which you honestly shouldn't do, by the way. But how the hell could this guy have the gall to say such a stupid thing? It just shows a lack of regard towards human life in general, especially when somebody's on an opposite side of the political spectrum. Now, in regards to what happened with Matthew Dowd, he apparently got fired from MSNBC, but still the fact that he was able to even get far enough in life to then be in a position to say such a stupid thing in the first place is really bad for whoever hired him thus far. Next, we have the communist brain-dead ignoramus known as Hassan Piker, a really big streamer, Nepo Baby. He says, America is an insanely violent nation. Charlie Kirk's shooting is the 46th school shooting this year thus far. So again, obfuscating, talking about school shootings, which again, Charlie has really nothing to do with. And again, just pointing to violence that really isn't relating to the point at hand. A lot of people said this about the murder of that Ukrainian refugee. That yeah, she died, but look at all these school shootings. Republicans enable the Second Amendment, and it's like, well, that has nothing to do with a plain as day murder of a Ukrainian refugee and the case of what happened in Charlotte, and then also the murder of Charlie Kirk, have nothing to do with a Columbine type shooting. It makes no sense. These guys will say, oh, you guys already forgot about the Minnesota thing. That has nothing to do with what just literally happened this week. Here we have Senator Elizabeth Warren, who notoriously lost to Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden in the 2020 Democratic primary. She's over here reacting to the death of Charlie Kirk and the calls by Trump and others to kind of tone down the violence.
Oh, please. Right. Why don't you start with the President of the United States? Right? And every ugly meme he has posted and every ugly word. Oh,
Okay, so again with this elementary school substitute teacher energy, again, super annoying, unqualified to be in the Senate, first of all. Secondly, so again, guy literally dies. Obviously a liberal. Okay, she says, oh, please. Oh, Trump can't plead ignorance. Oh, it's Trump's fault. Every ugly meme. Again, this idiot, I have so much, just a bunch of hatred for this chick because, again, an ugly meme in her mind is somehow in the same category as literally assassinating a dude with two little kids. Why? Why? You can't even explain it. I don't even want to argue it. It goes without saying. This chick is insane. Okay, surprisingly, the New York Yankees held a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk, right? For whatever reason, Hassan Piker takes umbrage with this. Let's see.
Holy fuck, the Yankees held a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Kirk founded the youth activist group Turning Point USA and had become a fixture on college campuses. Bro, the right dominates our fucking politics so aggressively. I mean, how can you look at this? I mean, how can you look at this and see anything else?
Why is that something to complain about? I'm pretty sure if the biggest liberal died, that they'd probably do the same thing. Now, what's like who's the person that's the foil to Charlie? I'm not sure, but still, come on.
I mean, they didn't even do this for a Democrat politician that got assassinated, you know?
Who?
Like, not
the Democrats are like, oh, a state congressman or a state senator in Minnesota was killed by some weirdo that may have been a Trump guy. And it's like, dude, really? Really? That's not even close. Charlie Kirk has more clout than 500 of those state-level politicians. And by state, I mean, like, state senator. That's very low in clout. The average state senator, no joke, has like 2,000 Twitter followers. I mean, it's just not even comparable to a guy who has a huge or had a huge following.
Not even like an influencer, a political commentator. They didn't do this for a Democrat politician that got assassinated.
So stupid. Now what? Now he's stun locked. He can't say anything. Now he's trying to find something to complain about.
There is no way in which, like, I'm telling you, like, there is no. Maybe for like Anderson Cooper would they do such a thing, you know? If a similar tragedy unfolded, but I don't know.
He's just a victim. What is there to complain about? He's silent.
Activist group.
What an awful streamer this guy is.
Stripping its ideological convictions of all of its meat until it's just a right-wing activist with a youth group.
Together.
What the fuck does that word salad alert? What the hell? You know, Hassan is literally a Nepo baby, and that's the only reason I could see him having any audience. He sucks, right? Just because he's like the only leftist that isn't ugly. Like, my God. Jesus. Vapid, but also so evil at the same time. Impressive. All right, this clip will be a delicious little artifact of his hypocrisy.
There are people who are wishing death upon you all over the internet. Like, I know. Of course people fucking wish death upon me. What do you mean? If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott.
Okay, so he's complaining about getting death threats for, 10 years? Which, by the way, if you're getting death threats for 10 years, odds are that they're worth whatever ink was on the paper that it took to have that, inscribed or whatever. Like, death threats over 10 years means that they're not really much more than threats. So he's being a victim for no reason, number one. Number two, so if you care about Medicaid or Medicare, you would assassinate the senator, a Republican senator like Rick Scott. Again, hypocrisy. Hello? Idiot. Who takes this guy seriously but a bunch of weirdos on TRT or whatever you call it, HRT. A bunch of blue hairs. Now, to shift towards the right wing and some Republicans that are being really stupid about this, you have the ignoramus Thomas Massie. He says, Trump among those who should be toning down rhetoric. So, again, victim blaming, really. So, Charlie Kirk gets murdered by a leftist, and then all of a sudden, Massie, this self-important, virtue-signaling, useless nerd, is going to be like, oh, it's Trump's fault. He needs to tone down the rhetoric. Why? It's Trump that's getting shot at, not Thomas Massie. Nobody gives a fuck about Thomas Massie enough to kill him or to shoot him because he's a loser. And what? He's going to say, oh no, Trump, the person that, again, is in the line of fire, literally, whose friend, Charlie Kirk, got killed yesterday. They're the problem, according to Massie. And he could say, oh, I pray for his wife and all that. And all right, all the political stuff. Gavin Newsom said the same thing, by the way. Massie, all of a sudden, on his soapbox, this freaking know-it-all, says Trump should tone it down. Okay. How you could be a Republican congressman for years, know intimately what the situation is, and then still grandstand like you're some bipartisan freaking wonk when you're really just a libertarian know-it-all, and then say that Trump should tone it down. It's just so stupid. It's so stupid. This kind of like white libertarian Tea Party thing needs to go away. Right? Idiot. It's giving shades of Mitt Romney with, oh, I'm going to throw a bone to the Democrats. Why? Do you want to win or not? This guy wears a national debt counter like some freaking doofus in high school. And that's supposed to prove something? You're just a complainer and a whiner. Massie wishes he was the main protagonist, and he never freaking will be. Rand Paul got a lot closer to president than Thomas Massie ever will, and Rand Paul didn't even get fucking close. Now, Representative Massie's thoughts that are elaborated here make it even worse given the context, right? So this is in the wake of the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. He says, I mean, there's a lot of rhetoric, and the president himself engages in it. He called it a hostile act that co-sponsored the Epstein resolution, said Massie, who was a leading voice in pushing a motion to force the release of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein. I think it's ridiculous rhetoric. So again, Massie, a day after the assassination of one of the most prominent conservative voices in the country, is making it about the fucking Epstein files. Why? Who cares? Give it a day. Give it a rest. A Sabbath. right? Get back to it next week or something. But we're talking about a really important thing. You are complaining about the Epstein thing, which was years ago. For what? For self-aggrandizement, because he wants to spearhead the release of these things. And to that I say, well, if you know the names, which people like him allude to, then just release them already. He says, oh, we're immune as congressmen from slander and defamation lawsuits and whatever. Okay, well then freaking release it all. What are you afraid of? This is all grandstanding. That's why I defend Trump on the whole, like, oh, he lied about it. Ugh. Yeah, because you guys don't understand. Trump is the man in the arena. Charlie Kirk is the man in the arena. Was until he was freaking wiped off the planet by some lunatic from the left. And people like Massie will placate the left to no effect other than for their own gain. And will stand on the body of Charlie Kirk to then be like, oh, what about the Epstein files? Oh my God, guys. Twitter autists, look at me. I'm awesome. Reddit gold. There you go. There, sprinkle on it. Sprinkle it on your head, Thomas. Fucking idiot. Ooh, okay, I'm livid. Anyway, he says, it's amusing, he added. It doesn't offend me that he's over the top with the rhetoric. So again, playing it both ways. But some people take it literally, and he should probably tone that down himself. Now, given that it was almost definitely a liberal that assassinated Charlie Kirk, and we have a leftist, be it Gavin Newsom, being AOC, be it Bernie Sanders, saying that people like Charlie Kirk, it's a soft geno whatever, I don't want to trigger the algorithm, but it's a geno aside of transgender folk, and this guy's the next Hitler, and this guy's going to like remove your rights, and all this guy's going to make an apocalypse. Don't you think that the person that killed Charlie Kirk took that literally by dozens of elected politicians on the Democrat side? But now Massie's going to criticize Trump? For what exactly? For what? All right, last tweet I'm going to cover for today. This person, Kaya, says, he was a father and a husband. So was Ted Bundy, BTK, John Wayne Gacy, Charles Manson, O.J. Simpson, Chris Watts, H.H. Holmes, Saddam Hussein, Lee Harvey Oswald, and Harvey Weinstein. So again, just completely missing the point. These bastards, and I know it's not all Democrats, but it is a solid fraction of them, be it 10%, 5%, 20%, I don't care, it's too many of them, that are celebrating the death of an innocent dude. And now his wife and I think his kids are 1 and 3 years old, have to grow up without a dad, probably not even have a living memory of their father because they were too young. And now this autist on Twitter is going to compare him to Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, serial killers. What the hell is wrong with these people? So before I break something, I'll just end it there. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Comment down below what your thoughts are. Honestly, this has been a life-changing moment for me. It makes me, I don't even know what to think anymore. So anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one. Adios.